and I am proud that there is life despite the poverty that one sees. The Slums Act is a very life-threatening legislation as long as there is human life in the shadow. Such legislation has no place. Abahlali took a decision that it would, among its members, nominate a task team to study carefully the bill itself, sentence by sentence. It became clear that, without involving legal team, without involving lawyers, it was a simple attack that was directed to shareholders and the poor. It was agreed that Abahlali would have to challenge the Slums Act in the streets and in court.
Now, when we speak of shack dwellings, what's the correct term used to describe informal settlements? We refer to these as being informal settlements.
7,000 people to the government's fault.
Now, why do the youth play such a significant role in the future development of South Africa?
Our leaders like Nelson Mandela, they will die and the country will be left on our hands. So that's why we must rise up now and take action now.
ngoba nendawo ukulala sinayo nomfana wami omdala umazi akanayo indawo ukulala manje siphatheke kabi-ke ngoba nomasipala ufuna ukusifudula sise emathinini asifuni ukuya emathinini ngeke siye sophuma la ngoba sifile sisaphila ngeke.
Usewa ebefuna kumgwaqo lapha ebesikhona wasiletha nalaba basiletha baka-transport azange bebuye ukuzosilandela bavele basidampa nje lapha efish in the tin.
In the apartheid era, they were separating black people from the white people, The Slums Act is similar to what happened in the apartheid era. It's separating the poor people from the rich people. We don't know where tomorrow are we going to be, whether next month we'll be taken to Lamontville. So we are always worried now because we know if they come and say move to Lamontville, we can't resist because it's law.
It sometimes becomes necessary to take people in phased approach, put them in the transitional or temporary housing, while building their housing, which normally takes about 30 days. Where we actually normally put people are much more better habitable areas for people on a transition team.
Amandla yabonga mphakathi igama lami ngumazwi wakanzimande ngiqhamuka endaweni yaseLamontville. Indawo yaseLamontville inamathini nayo futhi awu2 laphayana ke thina siyibiza ngeSilver Town lenye siyibiza ngeSilver City because lela dolobha basakhele lona linokucwebezela nje la ngiyabona ukuthi hayi kusacwebezeli ikhombisa ngokusobala ekudala abantu befikile la inhlangano yethu yabahlali ukuthi inhlangano esaseyincane kakhulu inhlangano esayingane yakhiwe nje ngo-2005 so njengoba sikhona nathi siyingane sithi masifike kule nhlangano sifike singene sithi khaxa sase sibona ukuthi isithunzi somuntu ohlala emjondo lasiko ake siloyeli thina sithi sifuna izindlu izona zonke izinto lezi ezenze inhlangano yethu njengabahlali bonke abantu mabalingane phambi komthetho amandla.
Our main objective ukuthola imixhaso siphume kulamathini ke nishayele ikhwela ukuthi labo 3 months ababethembise bona sithi sesikhathele ukuhlala la yabo kuney'ngane zavalelwa la namhlanje xoxa indaba abantu they are sick and tired manje mina-ke ngithi asibe united thina sodwa sibambane sikhethe ikomiti silazi siphinde futhi senze ubulungu kubahlali qina mhlali qina
hayi kuhle akuzobanjiswana sisonke mina ayikho into ehlula abantu uma bebambene ukubambisana nje nenza umsebenzi.
That there is a serious crisis in our country. We are being forced off our land and out of our cities. For too long, we have been subject to eviction from our homes. Therefore, we demand an immediate end to all evictions so that people can live in peace and security. For too long, the promise of housing has been downgraded to forced removal to a transit camp. These transit camps are more like prisons. Therefore, we demand an immediate and permanent end to all transit camps.
Struggling to survive without steady work or regular meals. Hardships made harder after their shacks were gutted when a fire swept through this informal settlement in Durban. But they say they'd rather put up with this than the proposed slums law that will allow provincial authorities to destroy shacks and put residents in transit camps. The Shack Dwellers Action Group is challenging the slums bill in the Constitutional Court.
In terms of the pending Constitutional Court case, we believe we've got reasonable chances for success, and we don't believe there is a need for us to go to the Constitutional Court.
The class in whose interest this application is brought is the homeless. The public at large has a very real interest in ensuring that the homeless aren't unconstitutionally evicted from their homes.
Here, owners are being obliged, maybe against their will, to evict, and nothing appears to me to be there in the Act to ensure that anybody is directly responsible for ensuring alternative accommodation.
What you have heard this morning, we respectfully submit,
is time and again, with respect to our learned friends, a very obdurate and I resort to Winnie the Pooh, I would say Eeyore-ish, pessimistic assessment at every turn of how the statute is properly to be read.
The struggle is not over. All we can expect, comrades, is for the judgment to be handed down in more or less a couple of months. So, ningapheli ngamandla, comrades. You are the hope of the future generation of our country.
Sanibona. Abantwana bakhe abadala nabancane bayakhala phambi kwakho bahlale emjondolo. So makhomrade, istruggle iyona nto ehlezi ihamba phambili. Silwelwa into yethu, asihlangani nezinto zamapolitiki, singayididanisi lento. Ukuthi sabahlali will remain abahlali. Phansi nabantu abangabahloniphi abaholi bethu phansi. Phansi ngabantu ababukela isithunzi sabantu basemjondolo phansi. Phansi ngekhwebu phansi. Phansi nge-IFP phansi. Phansi nge-ANC phansi. Most of the people who were there are my elders. They are the ones who were fighting for freedom with the ANC. They said, no, you were not there in the apartheid era. We almost died for the ANC, and now for you as a young person to come and say down with the ANC, it was rude. Talk about the ANC, it's like you're talking about Mandela. So when you criticize the ANC, they feel like you're criticizing Nelson Mandela himself. So Umar is the president of the Youth League of Abahlali. Ningamdiscipline abahlali uthe zonke izaze post angifuni umazi kwese kuthiwa uqheme ne-DA ngoba lako balikhomplekesi ndayo. Since I was told that exams that you are going to write, the only thing that I have done is to come straight from school. I get my school books. I just study. Here in South Africa, no one writes about the poor people. It's something that maybe I should do next year. Just write, just write books. Being poor in life doesn't mean that you are even poor in mind. Someone from the shop needs to write a big book like The Long Walk to Freedom. We need to write that. About the challenges that we have been facing, about the lives that we have lost in the ships.